Hello and welcome to My Daily Trivia. I'm your host, Danny, and today is Thursday, July 20th, which means it is the hardest day of the week so far. If this is your first time listening, My Daily Trivia is a 10-round game show with episodes Monday through Friday, each day getting progressively harder. So today, Thursday, is going to be the hardest day so far, with tomorrow being even more difficult. My Daily Trivia is a 10-round game show with no particular categories, no particular themes. So with that, let's get right into it with our first question. Question one: which historic event marked the beginning of World War I? And that answer there was the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Very common analogy is that of a barrel of gunpowder, where the small spark could make everything explode. That one's very. I remember learning about that in history. I remember learning about that when I was in Austria studying the country, and the spark that set off World War One came on June 28th of 1914 when a young Serbian patriot shot and killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. That was in the city of Sarajevo in modern-day Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, often pointed to as the historic event beginning World War I. Moving on to question two. In which city is the famous Taj Mahal located? And the answer is Agra. The Taj Mahal is an ivory white marble mausoleum on the south bank of the Yamununa River in the Indian city of Agra. It was commissioned in 1631 by the fifth Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his favorite wife. It also now houses the tomb of the Shah Jahan himself. I'm sure everyone's seen pictures of this. Famously, the Beatles were there. This is also a very famous one where people stand in front of it. They hold their finger pointing down like they're holding the tip of it. That is the Taj Mahal, and it is located in the city of Agra. Moving on to question three, a little literary question for you here. In the Harry Potter series, that's right, the Harry Potter series, what is the name of the village where the Dursleys live? And that little village was named Little Winging. Number four, Private Drive, was a thoroughly ordinary house on a thoroughly ordinary street in the fictional village of Little Winging. That was located in the non-fictional county of Surrey, where Harry Potter lived with the Dursleys. That was his aunt, his uncle, and his cousin, who, you guessed it, are also thoroughly ordinary. So, the Dursleys lived in Little Winging. Moving on to question four. What is the chemical symbol for the element tungsten? That chemical symbol for the element of tungsten is a W. Tungsten, or wolfram as it's also known, is a rare metal found naturally on Earth, almost exclusively as compounds with other elements. This element, tungsten or wolfram, is remarkable for its robustness, especially the fact that it has the highest melting point and the highest boiling point of all known elements. Now, in fact, the wedding ring that I wear is made out of tungsten. I can tell you this thing has not scratched. I work out with it, no issues. So I can indeed confirm that this element W, or wolfram, is quite robust. Moving on to question five. Which river flows through the Grand Canyon? And that river is the Colorado River. Now, most of the flow of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon actually originates in the Rocky Mountain region. That river and its tributaries are said to be a vital source of over 40 million people. That's right, roughly 40 million people in the high desert and the Baja California area rely on the Colorado River, which also cuts through the famous Grand Canyon. Moving on to question 6. What is the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea? And that island is Sicily. Sicily is located just off the toe of Italy's boot. Sicily is the largest and the most populous island in the Mediterranean Sea. The next largest islands are Sardinia, Cyprus, and Corsica. I think Crete comes in there as well. If you maybe guessed Crete, I think that was the next one on the list. So, largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, Sicily, where apparently most of the mobsters in the United States come from. Sicily. Now, moving on to question 7. Which country is known for inventing the sport of cricket? And that country is England. The sport of cricket has a long has known history beginning in the late 16th century, having originated in the southeast of England. It became an established sport in the country in the 18th century and developed globally in the 19th and 20th centuries. It is actually now the world's second most popular spectator sport after soccer, or football, if you will. In fact, I recently got a little bit into cricket, started watching a little bit, learned about the Ashes. The Ashes is a competition between England and Australia. And if you're looking for another fun fact, which perhaps I might have to include in a later episode, why don't you go look up and find out why it is called the Ashes? Kind of a funny little tidbit there. I'll leave it there and move it on to question 8. Which influential composer is known for his Four Seasons concertos? And that composer was Antonio Vivaldi. Born in Venice in 1678, Vivaldi was a composer and a violinist of Baroque music, along with names such as Johann Sebastian Bach and George Frederick Handel. Vivaldi actually ranks among the greatest Baroque composers. Fun fact, he was also called, at the time, he was also called the Red Priest, because not only was he a Catholic priest, he also apparently had bright red hair. So there you go, the Red Priest, Antonio Vivaldi, known for his Four Seasons concerto. Question number 9. Which director's filmography includes works such as The Shawshank Redemption, The Dark Knight, and Inception? That director was Christopher Nolan. Known for his Hollywood blockbusters with very complex storytelling, Nolan is considered a leading filmmaker of the 21st century, and his films have actually grossed $5 billion worldwide. Other works of his include Dunkirk, and most recently, and hopefully what I'm going to see this weekend, is Oppenheimer. Looking forward to that one. That one looks quite good. He's actually, I would say, probably my favorite director, so I'm very excited for that movie to come out. Moving on to question 10. Which novel begins with the line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"? Again, which novel begins with the line, quote, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times," end quote? And that novel was A Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities is a historical novel published in 1859 by Charles Dickens, and it was set in both London and Paris before and during the French Revolution. The novel actually tells the story of a French doctor named Minette, his 18-year-long imprisonment in the Bastille in Paris, and his eventual release to go live in London with his daughter, Lucy. The story is actually set against the conditions that led up to the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror. Now, we actually just had last week, it was Bastille Day in France, which is, I guess you could call their sort of 4th of July, their Independence Day, if you will, marking the burning down of that prison, the Bastille prison, where this character was said to have been locked up. Now that concludes our round of this round of My Daily Trivia. If you found this round to be simple, I encourage you to check in tomorrow. Again, this was I would consider a hard round, but tomorrow is supposed to be the hardest. If you found this round to be a little too challenging, I encourage you to always listen anyway. Check in tomorrow because you just never know. You might know more than you think, and if not, you can always learn something. So thank you again for listening to My Daily Trivia. I'm your host, Danny, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you.